The people that we read about and the people that we respect, such as Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, and others, all share one thing in common. They have an incredibly high level of self-esteem. The one thing that all of the high-performance people have in common is that they are hungry. They are hungry for a better life, eager for change, and want the tough love that their parents did not offer them. To put that into perspective, there are 7.65 billion individuals on the face of the globe who are unhappy, which is 87% of the total population. It wasn't until I reached adulthood and became an adult that I realized that not everyone possessed a healthy sense of self-esteem. The fact that not everyone possessed self-confidence was something I was unaware of. Up until that point, I was unaware that everyone lacked a sense of self-worth. Suffering is the only thing that can lead to growth. Without suffering, there is no gain. It's the same in life. Getting things done requires a lot of tough love. It is unbelievably challenging. To be a high-performance individual, full-time employment is required to be a high-performance individual. I am like this all the time, every day of the year, and I have been like this for the better part of half a century. To put it simply, I am always like this. I am always pushing the boundaries of boundaries. For the most part, people put things off because they are uncertain, so simply get it done. On the other hand, I've never had any issues with simply carrying it out, since one of the lessons you learn as a young officer in the combat infantry is that time does cost lives. Because we are uncertain, we engage in excessive analysis. We do not engage in excessive analysis, since we are uncertain as to whether or not it would be successful. The embarrassing aspect is the one that causes us the most concern. It's the emotional side. On the other hand, being liked does not result in a pay boost, and you are working whatever you are working for to maximize efficiency and responsibility. If you want to make $1 million, you will make $1 million at the very least. If you desire 10 million, 100 million, and you will never go above that number. There is no way that you will ever surpass your wildest expectations. There is no way that you will ever surpass your most insane imagination. And that is a solid assurance. Ted Turner recently celebrated his 75th year on CNN, and he has made a few comments. And he says, number one, I'm not proposing this for everyone. It's how I lived through the first 10 years of my career at CNN. He just threw his 75th anniversary celebration a few months ago. At the time, I did not have an apartment, so I slept on my couch. I can go down a long list of people who have slept at the office, including Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and others. Now these are extremely successful and extremely wealthy individuals. The office was where I slept. Although not everyone is willing to make that sacrifice, it is not the only factor that needs to be considered. But even if you don't sleep in your office, if you want to send your children to a higher school, if you want to be able to take your mother when she develops dementia, if you want to, all of these things require money. I have decided that after I pass away, my children will not receive any of my money, not even a single centavo or penny. 2 of my children are okay with my decision, while the other one is not so satisfied with it. I'm not going to, I think Andrew Carnegie, by the way, Andrew Carnegie, who is arguably the richest and most successful entrepreneur of all time, said that the best thing that you can have for a child is for him to be born into poverty, and I agree with him. Although you have probably heard me mention this before, the first 7 or 8 years of a person's life are crucial for the development of their self-esteem. Unfortunately, because we spend the first 7 or 8 years of our lives with our parents, we do not have a very high level of self-esteem. But if you want to learn how to build high self-esteem, and if you are 25, 35, or 45 years old, the way you can learn how to build high self-esteem is to be around and surround yourself with other people who have high self-esteem. As long as you show your friends, I will show you your future. As a result, you still can rewind your upbringing by changing the people you associate with. Consider the following scenario. You are 22 years old, you are 32 years old, and you are 41 years old. There is a guy or a girl who is 45 years old who is exactly where you want to be. They have achieved a great deal. The people who are rescuing the world and using their money for good causes are the ones you should associate with and be around. If you are interested in this, you should go and be around them. They are not going to come to your apartment or flat and ask you, "Oh, can I help you?" In addition to the fact that they are easy to locate, but they are not going to knock on your door. Probably, your parents taught you that you can be anything you want to be, but you can't be anything you want to be. That's horse. If it is all juxtaposed, you cannot do that. Therefore, what you tell them is that you are free to pursue whatever endeavor that you are passionate about, since this eliminates the majority of the nonsense that is out there because the majority of people do not pursue their goals. You should know that, as the characters in the film The Sound of Music say, if you don't have a dream, you can't expect it to come true. I continue to dream, but my dreams are vivid and colorful. When you tell your subconscious 1,000,000 times, and then every success you have is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Affirmations work so effectively because your subconscious doesn't know you're full of it. This is why I say my affirmations and goals every single night. This is the reason why affirmations work so effectively. The athletes who are considered to be of world-class caliber envision themselves, 20 years from now, standing on the podium and winning a gold medal at the National Olympic Games. They were able to accomplish that, but if you say something like, "I've got mentees, I'm going to go to the Olympics," they went, but they didn't get a medal. I've got a mentee that I'm going to go to the Olympics, and I'm going to medal. Medal, what that means they get a bronze medal. You will never surpass your most bodacious statement. I used to go to Rolls-Royce dealers when I didn't have any money by sitting in the vehicles, smelling the leather and touching the leather. I did this before I had any money. When my wife and I would stroll around the house, the people who lived there would ask us, "What are your parents getting here?" Okay, so I went to houses that were worth $1,000,000. Children, rather, we are the purchasers. You should practice being successful and practicing being successful when you are not. What percentage of folks who are listening to this today put their success into practice? This is accomplished by affirmations, by going to the Rolls-Royce dealer, possibly by purchasing a Lamborghini, or by purchasing something else. According to my specific circumstances, it was Rolls-Royce. As soon as I went to the Rolls-Royce dealer, I was able to purchase a Rolls within a year. Is that correct? After fantasizing about it and adding it to my list of ambitions, I will be counseling on Guthrie Castle, an island that I own, within the next 19 months. Does that sound reasonable? You should go to stores that you cannot afford and hire attorneys that you cannot afford. Attorneys are willing to meet with anyone, and accountants are willing to meet with everyone. When you have an idea for a business, you should go to the major four accountants. The first couple of sessions are free of charge. There are certainly several people who you hang out with whom you should jettison. Join Toastmasters if you have a difficult time communicating in front of others. Carry out these. Proceed to the alumni deals if you attended a reputable school but have not been successful in your career. To begin, I did not attend a reputable school. I am a perfect live example that I had a lot of problems when I was a child. I am from a working-class home, and both of my parents attended a terrible institution, which I did not graduate from. I dropped out of school 3 times before I ultimately graduated with honors, but I had little money to begin with, so it's all feasible. I had $820 in my pocket when I started classes.